Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System, arguably one of the most important video games to ever exist. It sold over 40 million copies, and it was the starting ground for the Super Mario Bros. Franchise that we know and love today. And with that comes people wanting to play it on any different kind of system. So for today's video, we'll be talking about the Super Mario Bros. Ports. Let's start things off with the classic, Super Mario All-Stars. Super Mario All-Stars was released for the Super Nintendo on July 14th, 1993. It was a 4-in-1 16-bit upgrade of the past 4 Super Mario Bros. Games, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, aka the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2. This game is considered a Super Nintendo classic by many, and it was also re-released on the Nintendo Wii in 2010 to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. I have to say, Nintendo really wanted to take their time to make the graphics look as amazing as possible. From the animated bushes, to the parallax scrolling, to even the Mario sprites that was later reused in Super Mario Flash, it was an amazing SNES. I recommend you pick this up. And if you're lucky, you might also be able to find the version of Super Mario All-Stars that comes with Super Mario World. 5 games in 1. Up next, we have a Super Mario Bros. Port that was just recently shown at Nintendo World Championships of 2017. Super Mario Bros. Deluxe for the Game Boy Color. Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, like I just said a moment ago, was released on the Game Boy Color somewhere around July 1st of 1999 to March the 1st of 2000. In this port of Super Mario Bros., they wanted to keep all the sprite sizes the same, so because of that, they had to zoom in the camera completely, making this a very interesting, challenging version of Super Mario Bros. The interesting thing about this one is that this is a one-player only game. There is a 2-player mode, but that's a versus mode. There's no regular 2-player mode like we saw in the original Super Mario Bros. Or Mario All-Stars. Another interesting detail I like is that they changed Luigi's sprites, so that way when he gets a Fire Flower, his sprites will be different compared to Mario's. Because if you remember in the original Super Mario Bros. Games, both of their Fire Flower sprites were the same. And just like Super Mario All-Stars, it also comes with Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, but here it's called Super Mario Bros. For Super Players. This is also the first time that they replaced the word time with the clock icon in the Super Mario Bros. 1 style. This is then later reused in Super Mario Maker, which was released in 2015. There is also a toy box area that can let you play with stickers, a good luck machine, etc. But in my copy of the game, everything is all corrupted. No matter how much I cleaned it, no matter how much I cleaned all my Game Boys, including the Game Boy Player, which is where I'm recording this on, it's still corrupted. Anyway, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe is a very strange port of the game, but it's not as strange as the next port. Up next is the port that got me into making this video. Classic NES series Super Mario Bros. For the Game Boy Advance. Now before I get into talk about the port, let me give you all a brief rundown on what the classic NES series is about. During the lifespan of the Game Boy Advance, in 2003, Nintendo re-released a bunch of Nintendo Entertainment System games and ported them over to the Game Boy Advance, titled the NES Classic Series.
Move out. 8-bit side-scrolling time traveler. Move out.
This is also the time that Game Boy Advance Video came out, where you get to watch television shows on your Game Boy Advance. Yeah, they really wanted to make this thing very convenient for those who wanted to play games and watch videos. Each classic NES series game had a casing that was lighter than the Game Boy Advance case, but that's because it wanted to match the colors of a Nintendo Entertainment System cartridge. Even in the Japanese Famicom releases, each game had a different colored case to go along with the original Famicom game or Famicom Disk System game. Those little details make me love Nintendo so much, because, you know, nobody would really focus on those kinds of details, but I've always been a fan of details. And of course, one of the games that was re-released during this lineup was Super Mario Bros. Now, as soon as you start it up, one of the first things that you'll notice is the sprite that they went with from Mario. Jesus Christ, that thing is scary. Was this made by the same company that made the box art for Game Philip?
Perfect for children with no necks.
Fire
Finally, a game system for me!
And Super Mario makes him look even more derpy. He's like, oh, hey there, everyone. I'm Mario. I'm saving the Mushroom Kingdom. Also, the Goombas that are in this game, oh my gosh. The faces are so weird. And the flagpoles in this game make them look like they were chopped up to pieces. And the Superstar sprite, oh my god, that thing looks tiny. Okay, so I think the reason for them having this very, very weird Mario sprite is because they wanted to fit everything all into a smaller screen, smaller than a 4x3 screen. But they still could have done some things to modify it and change it. They didn't have to really go this route. But as you can tell, they really wanted to keep that same similar sprite size, I guess. They didn't really want to shrink down anything. So what they had to do is they had to like lower different layers, if that really makes any sense. But surprisingly enough, the Super Mario Bros. Logo that's on the title card doesn't really look compressed at all. It looks just like the original NES game. I honestly don't know because this game is so mysterious, nobody ever really talks about it. I tried even looking it up on the Spiders resource and it brought up nothing, just the original NES game. Second of all, the scoreboard. Whenever you play Super Mario Bros., usually it'd be in the upper center, so you'll see some of the sky a bit. It won't be all the way out to the top. However, here in this Game Boy Advance port, they had to put it all the way out to the top, mainly because they weren't able to replicate a 4x3 size on this kind of screen. Okay, enough talking about the graphics. Let's go and play the game to see if this is the port of Super Mario Bros. The Game Boy Advance deserved. I don't know if this could be just me, but as soon as I started playing it, the controls seem a bit more different compared to the original NES game. It could just be the fact that I'm playing it with a GameCube controller, but then again, when I played it during the Game Boy Advance, like when I'm on a trip, when I played it on my Game Boy Advance SP, it felt like the controls were much more different compared to the original game. But when you get past that, it's pretty much the same game with all 32 courses that were in the original. In fact, all of the glitches from the original is still here, including the Minus World glitching, that mushroom in the air double jump glitch, all the glitches that you remember from the previous Super Mario Bros. Is here. However, because you're going to be playing it on a Game Boy Advance or a GameCube controller with the Game Boy player, it's going to be extremely difficult to try to pull some of them off, including the World War II wrong warp, the flagpole clip glitch, and of course the infamous wall jump. Now, given the fact that this is supposed to be a direct port from the original NES game, pulling this off would be plausible, but I don't think it would be possible to try to do it on a GameCube controller, let alone a Game Boy Advance. It's actually pretty nice for Nintendo to release this because with all the other Mario ports that we got, like Mario Land and Mario Deluxe, where they're not really close to the original NES game, we finally have something that really is close to the original NES game before the 3DSs rolled around in 2011, or even just the Play NESs in 2004. So there you guys go. This is actually a really neat change of format. I've never really made this kind of video before. I know it's like similar to my recreating non-Mario Maker items video. I know that, but this is actually a topic I wanted to talk about for quite a while. I mean, I think if you really think about it, these kind of ports of Mario is very, very strange when compared to the original games. Also, if some of you haven't noticed recently, I cut back on the schedule thing. Honestly, I do know that schedules are important, you know, to keep up with the YouTube algorithm, stuff like that. But the thing is, I don't really want to follow a schedule. I want to be as creative on my channel as possible. I want to make sure the videos are videos I really want to make and not try to consistently keep up with uploading. I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to be free when making my videos. I want to make sure I put as much time into it as possible and make sure it is definitely a good video that should be uploaded onto my channel. Also, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know at this point about the phrase quality over quantity, meaning you should put as much time on it to make it an amazing video instead of trying to constantly upload to give yourself more content. But yeah, now that I can put as much time on it as possible, let's just see how my content will look into the future. So, what did you all think about those very, very strange Super Mario Bros. Ports? Tell me in the comments, and if you have any other suggestions for what you want me to talk about next, and if you have any fan art that wants to send to me, you can send them all via Twitter, the comment section below, or in the community tab via the hashtag #DeoToGaming. And if you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, and if you're new, the subscribe button, and the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a video. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.